Hey guys, Will here, back with another unboxing video. Today, as you can see, I'm going to be looking at the Eldar Wraithguard. Now, this box was actually a Christmas present I received, and I thought, although it's not the newest kit, it would be nice to do an unboxing. It's only about 2 years old, and there's still going to be a lot of people that haven't necessarily seen the contents, so yeah, I thought it was a good opportunity to put a quick video out about it. Now this makes 5 plastic Wraithguard, but they can also be built as Wraith Blades. But let's open it up and see what we get in there. So first thing, as always, is bases. Now, not usually the most interesting part of the kit, but one thing I noticed with these is these are the 40mm size Terminator bases, which is really good because although the models are quite tall, they're also quite sleek, which means there's going to be a lot of free space on the base, which is going to be great for any kind of sort of scenic work that people want to do with these, like a blank canvas to do something unique with. So that's cool. Then you've got your basic Eldar transfer sheet, same as all other Eldar kits basically. One thing I do want to point out is you've got all the symbols for the Wraithguard and the Wraith Blades here, enough to put one on each of the 5 models in the squad, and you've got them multiple times in different colours. You might not be able to see it, but you've got them in white there, and then above you've got them in black. And the cool thing about that is that regardless of what colour you choose to paint them, you're going to have a nice transfer to put on them. For example, if you paint them white, you can use a black transfer, and it will show up nicely. If you paint them in a dark colour, you can use the white transfer and it will still show up. So just a small thing, but something I thought was worth noting with these guys. Then last thing before we look at the models themselves, instruction manual. Pretty basic, you know, get these in all your kits, but this is a really thick one actually. I think it's because you get the 2 different kits inside here. You've got the instructions for all of them, the Wraithguard and the Wraith Blades. I had a brief look through this, and it looks like you've got the options to build every possible weapon combination in here. So you can have the D scythes or the D cannons, or the Wraith swords or the Wraith axe. It's all in there. Only thing to particularly note with this manual is that the D cannons or Wraith cannons or D scythes go with specific arms. So if you pick X D scythe, you have to put X arm with it, for example. So just worth keeping that in mind if you're building some of these. Now on to the good bit, the models themselves. So you get 2 of these sprues in the box, which have the bits to make 2 complete Wraithguard and almost all the bits to make the Wraith Blades, apart from the melee weapons. So you get one and a second one here that is practically identical. Hang on, box is about to fall over. There we go, get that out of the way. So yeah, you've got the weapon arms. The legs come separate, so left leg and right leg. Now I haven't built these yet, but looking at them, that might give us some nice posability with the stance that these guys have. And the legs are really big as well. Turn it on its side there. That's a decent size for a mini's leg. You know, it's at least 1.5 inches, 2 inches tall. And that's going to mean these are going to stand quite tall on the battlefield and really sort of outsize things like Space Marines and Aspect Warriors. They're a proper big kit actually, and that makes some pretty good value actually, because I think these guys are about £25-ish, which makes them cheaper than say Sternguard Veterans for ultimately what is a much bigger model. And then you've got all your weapon options in here. So you've got the D scythe there and the Wraith cannon, and there's enough of those to equip the whole squad with either option. Got your heads down here, your little loincloths, so it's all there on these 2 kits to make 2 of them on each of these first 2 sprues. Then the 3rd sprue has the parts to make the 5th and final member of the squad, and then that's where you get all your melee weapons as well. And these are really nice weapons, and they're big, long, curved swords with lots of nice little detail down near the hilt. Just there, you can't really see it on the camera, but there's some nice details there. And on the heads of all the axes, you've got all these different runes carved into the heads. Is it going to show up on the camera? Probably not. Phone doesn't want to play ball today. But take my word for it, you've got some nice runes carved into the heads of all the axes. And yeah, a kit that looks like it's going to be really fun to build and produce some gorgeous looking models. So yeah, that's it, the Eldar Wraithguard. So I'm going to put these guys together and come back in a minute to show you what they look like built. Hey guys, welcome back. As you can see, I've now fully assembled the Wraithguard squad, and I've built mine with the Wraith Cannons because the mission I've got in mind for them is going to be primarily hunting really hard targets like monsters, super heavies, gargantuans, tanks, etc. And the extra point on the D table versus the D scythes, plus the extra about 4 inches of range over the flamer template, just it works better for what I've got in mind for them, and they're 10 points per model cheaper, which is nice as well. It's not to say D scythes are a bad choice, it's just for what I've got in mind for them, the Wraith Cannon's going to work better. Now, first observation with these models is just how big they are. I know I said in the video that the legs looked long, but they are really big models. Let me just bring in, I've got Stoneguard Veteran here, just for a size comparison. And you can see he doesn't even come up to their shoulders, and this guy's a Space Marine. Then I've got an Orc Boy for you Orc players out there, so you can get a size idea. And again, you know, these guys holding their cannon at the right height would actually overshoot this Orc. They'd miss over the top of his head. And finally, a Terminator. This is one of the Assault on Black Reach guys, and yeah, say he's just about makes it up to the shoulders. So yeah, really big kit. You get a lot of plastic for your money with these guys. They were good fun to put together actually. They went together nicely, and there was a little bit of posability, more so with the angle of the torso. The legs themselves come in pairs and they're pretty fixed as to how you build them, but you can angle the torsos in different ways and then adjust the arms accordingly, match different arms to different leg sets. As you can see, this guy's weapons hanging off. That's because I've blue tacked the guns on for now because I want to paint them separate from the model. You don't have to. There is probably enough room between the gun and the body that you could paint them without leaving the guns off, but it's just how I like to do it with any model that's holding its gun across its body. And yeah, the only criticism I would have of the kit, or probably two criticisms I'd have. The first is that when you clip off the components for the torsos, even if you're careful, sometimes the shoulder pads can sort of weaken the joint where the shoulder is held onto the body. Not a big deal, you've just got to watch out for it, and I think only one of them actually had to glue it back on. And then the weapon options, I would have liked it if they'd made it a bit easier to magnetise these. As it is, I've just built them with the Wraith Cannons and completely left out the D-scythes. I would have liked to have been able to magnetise them, but the size of the joints and where they are on the model just doesn't make that possible, unfortunately. But hey, I guess that's possibly deliberate because they want you to buy two kits if you want to equip them in two different ways rather than switch them out. But yeah, hope you like these models, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye.